Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. The Tennessee Titans are 2-3 after a 23-16 loss at the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. Titans were outrushed 193-89 on the day and were only 1 for 4 in the red zone. It also marks the Titans' sixth straight road loss. Mike Vrabel met with the media earlier today and was asked what needs to improve for the Titans to be able to win away from home.
Well, all the things that are necessary, that we believe in and that we know that we have to do, which is play better defense, create some turnovers, create shorter fields for our offense, and when we get down in the red zone, making sure that that we're turning those opportunities into touchdowns, and we're able to do those things yesterday.
Titans will turn their attention to the London trip coming up on Thursdays when the team will be wheels up to face the Baltimore Ravens at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on this coming Sunday. The Ravens are heading overseas today. Tonight, the Las Vegas Raiders host the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football. 7:15 kickoff. You can hear the Westwood One coverage right here on The Zone. And MLB playoffs continue tonight. Braves and Phillies in Game 2 of the NLDS in Atlanta. Phillies lead the series 1-0. First pitch is at 5:07. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Let's go, Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Remember last week on Monday, and it was a victory Monday, and everybody had, as my son would say, everybody had wind. There was all these wins that we were talking about. This is the opposite of that. The Vols didn't play, and the Titans lost, and just everybody lost. It was a non-victory Monday. This is a non-victory Monday. Blaine spent a lot of time yesterday tweeting about the draft and blowing things up, and let's trade this
After
guy.
the game?
Yes. Oh.
The draft and
Let's just blow it up and get better draft picks, and then can I do a patented Blaine Bishop? Stop that.
I don't know what.
Everybody wants to trade everybody today.
Oh, I didn't
Let's trade Christian Fulton for
the difference
multiple
between
picks.
me and them is I don't get to do post game anymore for whatever reason. And
I was out there too. Remember?
I was out there. Yeah, we know. And then and so I was out to dinner enjoying my day.
Oh.
My day does not revolve around whether the Titans or Tennessee wins or lose. If I'm getting to that point, man, my fandom has gotten way out of control if that happens. Now, a playoff game, I'll get pretty perturbed, especially I'm just like everybody else pissed off about that Bengals loss because that was the best team in a long time that had a great shot at going to the Super Bowl. But yesterday was a different story. And you know what? This one actually hurts a little bit differently than the other ones because – when I watch film of the Colts, the Titans are a better team. Now, they didn't play better than them yesterday, and we all know how that can happen in sports. You just have a bad day. What's more disappointing is I said the offense will continue to evolve, and they did. They went from 20 to 20. They just couldn't, close it out and get touchdowns every time when they were down there. They're getting more field goals, which I think was, 3 or 4 of them in the red zone. And, the Colts play a real – conservative defense that is kind of like the bend don't break type. Even they have no superstars in secondary. D-Hop had a big day, which I thought they would in the passing game. A running game, they played them pretty solid. But all in all, I was just disappointed. Like maybe if you got one of those field goals was a touchdown, I think I'd be completely super duper happy about how the offense played. Now the surprise here, and I'm really discouraged because if it doesn't get better, they're going to be in trouble. So I don't want anybody, to your point on the stop that, I don't want anybody ever to say, I don't care how well they play from here on out, I don't want to hear anybody say that this defense is elite. And I've been real close to saying they're not because I said the secondary isn't elite.
Right.
So don't say anything about there's nothing elite about anything about yesterday from every level. From D-line, I think they got 1 sack. I don't know how many pressures. Maybe 5. I don't know.
2.
And how many?
2.
Yeah. See. Yeah. And so in linebackers, they look like poop. Both of them, poop. All right. Now, third level, we can just all go to untimely penalties by Christian Fulton. So at every level on the defensive side, they were horrendous. I'm sorry. And you can't let a running back Good solid running back. He's just a good solid running back in the National Football League. He can't go for 160 or whatever that crap he went. So that can never happen. And that's what we always do, run against the run. No, not in this game. So I don't know if we just help T.R. Tart make a whole bunch of money or not.
Yeah.
Because Tart is going to be like laughing, like, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, man, that was, I was just stunned. If they would have played halfway decent like they always do, at least up front,
Right.
we would have walked away with this game easy, real easy. Whether it was Richardson or Minshew. And actually, as much as Richardson is a better athlete, Minshew's the better quarterback as of today because of his familiarity with the offense and being in the scheme last year where was he? In Philadelphia, right? Where was he as a backup. So that's what, that part just, man, I can't believe at all levels on defense that they just stunk it up like that. That was, man, that hurt me because then he's like, this is how this team is built. That front seven got to get after the quarterback. And to me, we should be playing a whole bunch of zone behind it if our front four is what they think it is. Because then you say, well, let them go hunt, kind of like Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's first year there. And then we'll just play zone, get our hands on everybody, and then we'll sink and try to make plays and keep everything in front of us.
Right.
We don't do it. We go man-to-man, and then Christian Fulton gets a holding. Whether it's deserved, gets double moved. And he's not the only one, but in this game he was. Now, besides quarterback, to me, there's never a single player that can cost a game. Now, there can be a play that costs them on a drive, but to say that a player, which I think a lot of people are on social media, first of all, Christian Fulton's dad got to quit defending him. You got to keep it moving. Let's start there first, and then Fulton has to own up to when he makes mistakes. So those two things got to happen. Now, for me, as far as him, being benched and all that, I really love to hear what people's thoughts are. But before I ask that question, what disappointed you more? This is the question that came to me. The D-line, the secondary and the untimely penalties by Christian Fulton and the D-line linebackers, and red zone offense. What disappointed you more? Because all those things, the Titans formerly was pretty good at them. Maybe not this season in the red zone, but you would thought they would, over time, it would, smooth itself out. Those things really hurt. I also am trying to put myself in Vrabel's shoes before you want to make a knee-jerk reaction. If someone would ask me, hey, what did you think about Blaine Bishop's play? Did you think about benching him? In a critical, wasn't like he was bad the whole game. He just had some critical penalties that cost him, no doubt about it. Right, and it's been some continuation of some other games.
Right.
So it's not just this game. And he said he thought about it. Now, we got an honest opinion from him. But if you're talking about your brethrens, just like your family, they get in arguments, disputes, even fights in the house, right? But everybody gets along. But you're going to tell people publicly, oh, yeah, they fight. Everybody knows what goes on in the house. So to me, if I'm a coach, if you want to keep everything in-house, I think I would have said, and I would have lied, like you always do about certain things. I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said it. Now, in his face, I would have told him that, just like he did probably at halftime. Everybody's saying, he said, I don't know what he actually said at halftime. I wasn't there. But he says he got to play aggressive or whatever he said to him. So I would not bench him. I would go about this whole process just like I did with Dillard. No different. I'm going to play this all the way out till we get to the bye. Because I want to see if you can rebound. Because remember, my big thing is as an athlete is you're going to have failures, especially at cornerback.
Sure. It's
That's how
designed that way.
Right.
Yeah.
It's designed that way. The league is all going that way. So he needs to, I know you want to give him a wake-up call, but this is not college. This is the pros. Either you're going to bench him and you're going to move on. And you want to wait till maybe the season's going in the direction you don't, because he is the best available player. You can say what you want to about that, but he is. Hey, I love Trey Avery or whoever else you want to put out there, but at the end of the day, he's still the better player. Now, is he playing to that, and is he having some technical and pick-a-boo in the backfield issues at times? Yes. So until he, gets past that. Now, sometimes you can sit somebody and say, hey, I'm going to play you, but I'm going to start this guy. And so you can actually see, because sometimes you learn more standing on the sideline in a game at your position, which I did as an injured player, standing there if you're really paying attention, stay engaged, and can see like how things are unfolding than when you're actually in the game. So maybe he needs that. I don't know, but it can't continue after one more game. I think you start considering. But me as a head coach, I would have never said that. Just me personally. That's just my style. Behind the closed doors, I could be MFing them all day.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm going to do publicly, because guess why you don't do that? In sports, whether you bench them or not, is at some point in the National Football League, you can't just go pick up players and think they're going to be good all over the place. This is not college where you got 150 guys on your team. Oh, I'm going to go to the next guy.
Right.
At some point, you're going to need them. And now you're messing with the mental psyche. He's still strong there mentally, and I think that's why he answered the way he answered after the game. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm playing against the rest. Well, people don't want to hear that. You need to just take ownership.
Right.
Whether that's true or not, you got to just do it. So if not, you fall into these booby traps of everybody saying different things and connotation of what you really meant. You probably felt like it was no harm. It was, you had a couple bad calls. And maybe one of them, I think the one that we said he was holding on the move, the guy run down the field, that one was questionable. The other one, all legit. So, yeah, I'm real big on, mental psyche, especially at a position that's real delicate, is really hard. At cornerback, quarterback, you could start getting in his head. Now he's going to start second-guessing himself, and maybe that's what he's doing already. And this is why I love that this is happening to him. And he may not love it. Yeah. But, he's in contract year. He's going to have a great year. No, you play every year to be great. Mm-hmm. So it's not that. So why isn't he playing great then? He not. Guess what? It might be the opposite for him. He may be taking more risk because he wants to get paid and he knows he's not coming back here. Yeah. See, so I'm going to go give him one more game, see if he can clean it up, because they're going to continue to attack because too much on tape now. Not just this game, as other games. So, and see where we go. But this is not a game that Christian Fulton lost this game. That's not how I feel about this game. Now, did it happen at the end and then call? Yeah. But that there was a whole bunch of plays. Well, who all was wrong on that long run by Zach? There's a whole bunch of people. D-line, linebackers, safeties that was chasing. That's a whole that hardly ever happens.
Yeah.
And especially, I would have felt better if it was Jonathan Taylor, as bad as that sound. Just because I know he's a great back.
Think about paying Jonathan Taylor before that game and then seeing the other guy do what he did. And thinking, this guy's making nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So they, Now, I'm sure in film, a lot of, at least on the Colts side, they probably looked at him and said he had some 20-yard runs, and they would have said, Jonathan Taylor would have took it to the house.
Mm.
Yeah. So they eased him in there, and they really didn't use him very much at all. They knew going into the game that they're going to use Moss. That's what they're going to do. So, yeah, this was a stinker. This one hurts because I just felt like we were the better team, and we didn't play to that level. Got to give credit to the Colts. They did enough, man, but, jeez, man, no turnovers. D-Hop had a heck of a day. It's man. And then only, I like him going for it on fourth down. I don't know about the play call there with Henry. Looks like there was a lot of undecided mess-ups there with two guys motion and stop. They still have the wherewithal to understand, we got to stop here for a second and then move. I would have called timeout right there.
Yeah.
Because then there's confusion, and then we're at a point where I don't want confusion on this play. I don't even know if we had any timeouts, but easier said than done. But immediately, that's what I was thinking. Play ran. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, and that did not work. I don't remember who missed the block. I want to say it was Hubbard.
I want to say Hubbard got folded up like a chair and moved out of the way.
Yeah, I think it was Hubbard. I went back and watched it, but all I could see was him get up and look around like, uh-oh.
Which one of y'all kicked me?
You were you. You did it, dude. But, when you have, one back. Pass blocking was okay. They were chipping at times, helping Dillard. So I don't know if they really need to do that as much. But, yeah, I can't even tell you if he's better. Just in this game, he was better. I don't know.
All right, we'll try to be better in the next segment. Here's what's going on. Phones apparently died this morning at about 9 o'clock in this radio station. They still don't work. It's a reaction Monday, but you will have to react in various other ways. You can drive down. What's the street that runs behind us here, Joseph?
I think it's
Ding
is it
Dong
Music
Avenue.
City, Music City Circle, is that what it is?
No, it
I know.
is
I'm pulling up the
Division Street. So you could drive down Division Street, hold up a sign, and honk. We could look at you out there. That's an option. You can get in the F&M Bank chat, and you can tell us what's going on. We've already got a Ding Dong of the Week for Mario Cristobal from Emmett. He knows what's coming up next. It is Ding Dong of the Week. You can tweet at us at Blaine and Mickey. Just follow us there and then tweet at us. Or you can follow us on Instagram at Blaine and Mickey. Send us a DM. We'll answer them. We'll look at them. We read them all. So do that. You can get in touch with us. Once the phones are back online, we'll let you know if you are a phone expert. We'll take some feedback on that, too, to get this thing rolling again. It is a non-victory Monday on Blaine and Mickey.
Crap.
Yeah.
"40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind:
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
to sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.
Ring a ding, ding, dong. Time for ding dong of the week. Drop a ding dong in the F&M Bank chat, or you can tweet us a ding dong at Blaine and Mickey. You can just fill up our timeline with ding dongs of the week. Ding dong brought to you by markspain.com. Or Mark Spain. You can go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing. You don't even have to redo the bathroom or anything. You just call Mark Spain and he sells that sucker. And you go to the next place.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a free agent, you just tell Mark Spain, hey man, I'm not gonna be here next year. Why don't you come on over, make me an offer that I can't refuse?
Oh my.
Mark Spain, he could help free agent footballers. Yeah. He could sure do that, and he could help you. You don't have to play football to get some help from Mark Spain.
Yeah, we were talking about Vrabel, and maybe I wouldn't have said maybe things he said just like I was considering, because he kind of messed with the mental psyche, even though he was, and I could see how he could do that. But his presser today, I completely agree with the things that he said about playing the coverages and not being pick-a-boo, and about the defense in general, or different players, even on offense. I agree with all of those things. Just, to me, when things get tough and you have failures by players, I would be coaching from the tack that I want to keep everything in-house. Because whatever it is. So to me, by him saying something about the fold, he is down to the last line. I think this is the last line. Because he knows he doesn't have a lot of options. Not to say that Trey Avery or whoever else he picks will do a solid job or not. It's just that this guy has a lot into, playing and having a good season. And you would put your money, before the season that he was going to stay healthy enough, maybe miss a game or two here or there, and have a good year. And it hasn't happened that way. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here. But speaking of ding-dong, since we're doing ding-dongs, my ding-dong is not a coach. It's an actual owner. And guess who talks a lot? Who's an owner? If you're making a guess. They got a star in their helmet. Yes, this ding-dong is for Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones.
Ding-dong. Everything's bigger in Texas.
It is big, except when they play the Niners. Yeah.
Thank God.
He says, the Niners will have to go through Dallas to win the NFC. Go through. They don't have to go through nothing. They dominated you. Jerry in his box when the Cowboys were losing. It's about time. No. I mean, yeah. Jerry, man, is going to be putting his foot in his mouth a lot, Put a lot of pressure on your team to win those big games. And I get it's a big, big rivalry, especially with the history of those two teams. Have nothing to do with the actual players there now, except for when you're playing. But, yeah. If I'm on, I keep everything close to the vest. No way, no how. And then Dak always plays like a ding-dong in these big games.
Something that rhymes with troop.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was fun.
Soup.
Try to have fun with the ding-dongs, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
we always
ding-dong.
what my biggest takeaway was from the 49ers Dallas game? Well, there were two.
What was that?
They've scored 30 points, I think, in every game this year. The Titans haven't scored 30 points in 23 games, which is the franchise record. That's one. They can't do in a season.
Say that again.
The 49ers.
No, the Titans part.
That's the record. We found this note, remember, from Next Gen Stats. They had gone 22 games without scoring 30 points. In the league, that's the
And I predict they're going to go. I give myself
points.
a ding-dong for saying they're going to score 30 points in this game. Man, the offense was, the only thing that could stop them was the red zone.
Just that fence over the goal line there. They had to kick it over it every time.
And
So
a lot of people are pissed off that they ain't throw the D-hop except the one time, and that doesn't count because Henry threw the ball to him in the red zone.
Dude, if
And
that
it was,
if that had been this much lower, if he didn't have to leave his feet, that's a touchdown. He couldn't get his other feet down. One foot, but not the other feet. Both of his feet couldn't get down. The 49ers have scored 30, 30, 30, 35, and 42. And Dallas has what we thought was a great defense. They just mauled them like bears last night. The Titans, the last time they had a stretch this futile of scoring 30 points, there's a lot of people listening who weren't even a dream of a human being thought, an embryo or a fetus at that point. It was 66 to 67. 1966-67. Wow. So the modern NFL, for Joseph and all you youngsters out there, the modern NFL, where most records start, is considered to be 1970, which was the merger when the AFL and the NFL merged. So a lot of records you'll see since 1970 or since the merger, that's always a little caveat afterwards. This is pre-merger. You have to go back to pre-merger. The Beatles were still just getting it done. I mean, this was a different time in the world. And they went 22 games without scoring 30 points. In those days, you could body slam people, rip their helmets off, hit them out of bounds, spear them, hit them over the middle. You could tackle them and hold them and grab them and punch them all the way up and down the field. And now the NFL's like, hey, Christian Fulton and Blaine Bishop and all you DBs, you can't touch anybody.
Oh, I would have got flagged like that Fulton holding all the time. I'd be holding. It wouldn't be passing if it'd be holding.
I think you would have been creative in your holding.
I'd be real smart. Yeah, mischievous out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would have got buddy. Watch this. I would have been taking the referees out for dinner the night before. Yeah, man. They be like, hey, man, we got to go to a undisclosed location. And, yeah, it's tough to play DB now, man. But this is, man, dang. Oh, man.
West Virginia Mountains, West V Mountains, and the F&M Bank chat. By the way, you can load us up with comments there. West V Mountains says, when we kick off Sunday, it will be 651 days since we scored 30.
I saw the stat, and it may be wrong, or did I put this in my head? As much, and I was really ding-donging myself, I was like, man, the offense looks so much better this year. Yeah, man, they just moved the ball.
Yeah.
But guess how many points they averaged this year?
The Titans offense?
Mm-hmm. Guess.
It was 15.
Well, but I think now it's 17.
Okay.
What did they average all of last season?
17 and a half, when we considered it to be the end of all time.
And they haven't got more.
It's me who's supposed to make people feel bad with these stats, not you.
I was like, but why do I feel like the offense is better? I do. It looks better. I don't know what it is, but the results of the final number is the final number is 17.
No, it is what it is. You are what you are.
I'm like, and they're not running the king as much. I mean, based off of how the game flows, too. But, man, it just, I don't know why I feel, maybe because they're running when they usually, or now, when they usually run their passing and vice versa. But, man, I feel like they score more points than that, but I guess not.
So many ding-dongs. Daniel Vaughn says in the chat, ding-dong of the week, the refs in the Chiefs-Vikings game. Seriously?
The refereeing is just bad all over.
Where you watch the whole play, and then you throw up a pass interference, and you're like, no, that wasn't pass interference. And the DB, when you called it, ripped his helmet off and ran at you. And then you don't call him for that. And that you can see the official. Somebody has the video, the official saying, put your helmet back on. So he understands that his helmet is off and was taken off on the field after a play when he thought he had been flagged for pass interference.
But he wasn't flagged.
They unflagged it and didn't flag it for taking his helmet off.
Here's what happened. Because he took him out to dinner the night before.
Because of Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm. He knew he was part of the Swiftie crew.
People are 100% consumed by officiating in Chiefs games right now.
Oh, yeah.
Or where they didn't call the penalty. What happened last week in the game where the official waited until the ball got intercepted and then threw the flag on a pass play?
Oh, my.
Tyler.
That happens all the time in high school.
Check out this ding-dong from Tyler. Ding-dong is Michigan State, who has placed a professor on leave after it was discovered he actually was a fugitive on the run.
Oh,
he was busted cooking meth in Louisiana.
Please don't. Oh, my.
Todd says everyone on game day, they picked Texas and Notre Dame to win. Oh, Oklahoma, man. That's the most fun game of the weekend. More ding-dongs, more ding. Can Blaine be our DB's coach? I'd sign off on that, but he'd just have to be here from 1 to 3 every day.
Oh, man, there's no way I could do it. No way. Man. If I really want to watch the All-22, and I really don't want to do that because I start watching it in a different minute. I'll see a whole bunch of other stuff, not just
I think you need to watch it and then just come back in tomorrow and then let's just reload it again.
It, man. Oh, man.
The maybe ding-dong emeritus of this week, and we've gotten several mentions of this guy in the F&M Bank chat is none other than Mario Cristobal. Miami had a chance to run out the clock, and they had a chance to win a game. They were undefeated, right? They had a chance to be undefeated, and they were wearing these nightlife uniforms with neon numbers, and they were doing their thing. And this is what happened next on TV. There was about 30 seconds left. Kneel down on the ball, right? No, apparently not.
No. It's under 4 seconds. Just take a knee. You should not be handing this football off. Right. I don't know what Miami is doing.
That's it. Here's Chaney. The straight ahead. Tackled, and the ball popped out.
You got to read the clock. Read the card. To me.
Georgia Tech has it with 26 seconds left.
Information there to change this.
Here's Jeff Easer.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Georgia Tech.
Do we have Cristobal's answer to that?
Oh, that's
question?
coming. Okay. But this happened next. This is per Georgia Tech Radio Network.
Oh.
King with 10 seconds to go from the 44. Snap back to King. Flushed out to his right. Looking. 5 seconds to go. He will toss it into the end zone at the 5. Leary into the end zone. Touchdown Jackets. Touchdown Jackets. 1 second left. Christian Leary. What did we just witness? Throwing downfield to Christian Leary, who got behind the defense at the 5. And it's 23-20 Jackets. I see it, and I still don't believe it.
So.
Yeah, I saw it on replay, but just hearing on the call, oh my.
Okay, you can add another ding-dong in there, another layer of ding-dongery. Because guess how many people Miami had just standing on the goal line when that's all they had to defend? Guess how many? 0. This dude catches the ball, and there's 3 people chasing him. They didn't just line the goal line with people. There were 10 seconds left. They didn't. Look, all you have to do is play prevent defense there. Yeah. If you'd been in a prevent, the guy probably could just come up and knock the ball down. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. They had nobody on the goal line. They played their regular defense or some version of it. Which that was a loss, and it led to, as Blaine requested, this from Mario, Super Mario.
All right, good evening. Thank you for your patience. Obviously disappointing. A lot of different aspects. Obviously, again, just fell short in so many different ways. Battled. There were some signs of life. Not having a great first half, but coming out second half doing some things and falling behind and getting up again. And then at the end of the game, a chance to put it away. And should just tell them to take a knee, take a timeout right there, recalibrate, and just take a knee. And so gave them a chance, and they took advantage of it and scored. So that simple. Questions, please.
What do you say?
Or he tried to walk around it, and then he just we should just take a knee. But here's what I have. I wish I had the rate because I didn't know you were going to do this. Mario Cristobal, and I like him as a coach, does this exact same thing at Oregon when they played Stanford, and he was the head coach of Oregon. So there is data to show you that he is all in on going forward.
Take that for data.
Yeah. Yeah. They show this is his decision and that what he likes to do. Woo. And you hate it because you want the U to be good, and they seem like they've kind of finally turned the corner into this snafu or tomfoolery decision. Hey, by the way, the player did fumble, so I'm sure he told him, hey, let's keep, hold on to the ball, just go down, whatever it was, but it didn't happen. You're dealing with guys, 23 and under, so you just never know what you're going to get.
There were just so many blunders at the end. Starting there, I'll tell you something that bothers me is, and I know this is just what most teams run, and that's all they do, is the quarterback in shotgun on kneel-down plays.
Oh, because he's losing yards. That's to the rushing yards, right?
Even that, or what if the center slips or hikes it over his head or something? Oh. I mean, I would say, look, if nothing else, I'm going to teach you how to take snaps for kneel-down plays. The shotgun snap kneel-down play terrifies me. Majin says, fire that man. They're not going, They're 4-1. I mean, it's just dumb. I'll tell you what happened, though. The AD, whoever their AD is.
Yeah, how does that work?
The AD goes on Sunday morning and goes early and sits down in the coach's office, and they have a long discussion. If I was an AD, I would talk to the football coach. I would pick a time, like, hey, we're both going to go to church. We'll meet at 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or if you're going to go, again, I'm just throwing like personal stuff into it. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go to church with your family or whatever, we can meet at 6 and then you can go. But I would have this is when we meet. That way, if something goes great, I go, great job. If something doesn't go great, it's not like I called a meeting to come and berate you. We already have a regular meeting in place. Mm-hmm. I set expectations constantly, right? We constantly set expectations. Open communications. I know you're a big fan of that. Just tell me the truth. Yeah. But as you pointed
especially
out,
in sports.
Yes, just tell me what the expectations are so I can live up to them or not live up to them. Although, as you pointed out earlier, and I agree, in a post-game press conference, something like that, it's okay to lie sometimes. It's okay.
They do it all the time.
Well, but I mean lie to protect a guy who may have messed up. Sometimes it's okay to go.
Especially in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, because obviously, you got elite players. He made a snafu. Yeah, but that's tough there. And, yeah, dang, that was tough there. That was ding dong. You got something, Joseph? We didn't let you go first. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. My ding dong of the week. We're gonna go to the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game, and it is the entire receiving corps for the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson.
About to see those guys. Don't get them too fired up.
Lamar Jackson led all NFL QBs this week, aside from tonight's game, with a 93.4 passing grade in Week 5. Wide receivers had 7 drops, including like 3 touchdown drops, costing the game. They lost. Pittsburgh able to come back. Their defense, I think they made a great special teams play on a punt. And then at the very end, they went cover 0, and George Pickens down the sideline for the game-winning touchdown. But 7 drops, even though your quarterback leads the NFL in passing grade. That's ding-dongery.
That is straight-up ding-dongery. That is absolute straight-up ding-dongery. All right, 2 final observations for me. One that I didn't get to in the 49ers game. We always talk about, why do you leave your starting quarterback in? They took their starters out with 14 minutes to go in that game.
But how much was they up?
And they were up by 1 million, but usually teams don't do that.
No, remember, that was the question I had.
You actually brought that up.
Yeah,
that's why I said I have to bring this up. They did it. They took them out. They took Brock Purdy out.
I would be.
Put in Sam Darnold.
Whether the game is over in your favor or not. If you're down by line, you say, this game is over. Hey, why not get your backup quarterback, some experience?
They got him 14 minutes of work.
That was my guy that I like, too.
Sam Darnold, I know.
Yeah, I like Sam Darnold.
Hey, man,
people
Sam.
Like, he's horrible. Hey, well, maybe just circumstances. He wasn't in the right place, right time. And he's still young. Dude came out when he's 21. He's only 25. Or somewhere. Yeah, 25, 26.
Oh, no. If he's 20, he's at the oldest 26. He may still be 25.
Yep. It was funny. Guess who was on the other sideline? Trey Lance.
Yep.
I saw him catching passes for Dak in warm-ups.
He's 26.
26.
Yeah.
And has done all that living. Already lived through a first-round 5-year contract.
At 21, or it might have been.
I think he was 20.
Yeah, so, he's grown a lot throughout that whole process. And it was like he was horrible. He was just kind of a middle-of-the-road player, and he wasn't on a team, that was super exciting. Coaching changes. He made his own mistakes, too. He laid his own bed, but – and I like his skill set.
All right, let's do this. Appreciate all the ding-dongs and the chatter and the F&M Bank chat. My last favorite thing was the home announcers and how they sounded like they were being, like, boiled alive. They were so excited. They just, like –
Georgia Tech?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I just emailed this to Joseph. I have the greatest Homer radio call in history. The greatest Homer radio call in history.
What, high school, college, or pro?
High school football. You've heard this before. You've heard it. We have to play this next. In honor of Homer announcers who completely lose their minds, this is an all-timer. We'll play it for you next.
Did you know Eurofix has a very different business philosophy? They staff all their locations with more staff than the average auto repair shop, just so they can be ready for when your emergency pops up out of nowhere. And have you ever noticed how hard it is to get in a right now appointment for your vehicle repair? Where some dealers can be more than 2 weeks out just to get a freaking appointment, but not at Eurofix. Eurofix has been offering quality repairs that beat the dealer without the dealer pricing since 1999. Plus, they have a 3-year nationwide warranty and the staff to fix your car right away. I mean, like right now. So if you're tired of waiting forever to get your car into the shop, then call Eurofix. Owner Aaron Stokes says, "We will never be too busy for our customers. We're here to take their pain away, and we mean absolutely right now." And Eurofix repairs all European cars. So Eurofix says yes to speedy repair when others can't or won't. Family owned for 24 years. If you want the best, just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myeurofix.com. That's myeurofix.com. But I always tell them Blaine said, Jeff.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. So back in 2010, your boy here was spending some time back in the home state of Arkansas. I didn't live too far away from, sort of lived right between this beautiful mountain town called Batesville, Arkansas. Just beautiful up there, man. Little college up there. Used to be a place called the Sweden Cream. You go there and get ice cream. The place called Kelly's Grill. They had good frog legs if you're into that kind of thing.
Kelly too, huh?
Kelly's Grill. I met Kelly. Inside, it looked like it was 1968 in there. It was magical. They never updated the decor. They had like pictures of Miss White River, 1964 on the wall. And I don't know if it was just cheap or they did it to keep the vibe. Either way, I liked it. Then you got Wynne, Arkansas, which is just down the road from where I'm from, Harrisburg. This is like 3A football, head-banging rivalry at its best. I actually had these dudes on my radio show before I went to work at Arkansas State as part of my mini job tour in life. I was actually working in radio when I first moved back there. I had these guys on because they became world famous. Batesville was playing Wynne in a high school football game. And I love this because this is the greatest Homer announcer call. Like Yahoo Sports did a whole article on it, broke down every phrase. It's amazing. I think I've made you listen to this before because I love it so much. Pioneers losing 13-10 to the Wynne Yellow Jackets under a minute to go, and all hope seemed lost. And then a savior by the name of Matthew Showalter showed up, and it all went down like this.
And let's see what Batesville can do here. Wynn's going to milk everything that they can. They're not going to have to snap the ball till inside of a minute. Let's see what the defense can do. Handoff goes to the left. Ball's on the ground. Batesville's going to pick it up. He could go. He could go. Go, Matthew. Go, Matthew. Go. Go, Matthew. Go. Oh, Matthew's going to go. He's going to score. Touchdown, Matthew Showalter. Touchdown, Matthew Showalter. Touchdown, Matthew Showalter. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Woo! And there ain't no flag. No penalty flags on the play. Matthew Showalter with the scoop and score. Goes 97. That was Showalter, baby.
For president right now, baby.
Matthew Showalter, 97 yards on the scoop and score. Goes for 7 or 6. Pioneers lead it by 3.
Those dudes just lose their minds. That stuff like that is what makes high school sports or any sports so great on the radio. And there's a little TV. This was done on local TV as well. I think it was the radio call maybe that was synced to the local TV. Anyway, just fabulous stuff.
Someone come in and sound like at the end where someone sounds like they came into the press box and
Yes.
he turned around and goes, "Yeah, that was Showalter. It was him."
And then another guy leaves the press box. It sounds like he's outside. Like he went out to slap some high fives with some friends and family.
Like he opened the window and high five.
Oh, 100%. I did games in some of those press boxes. In Truman, Arkansas, it was like a storage building on stilts.
Yeah, it's right there.
And they just raised up one wall of it. So that was the worst place I ever did one. God bless you, Truman. I'm down with it. Wynne and Batesville probably a little bit nicer press boxes, but still easy to get in and out to join or unjoin the broadcast if you so choose. B. Jern says Blaine does not look amused.
Nah, I'm good. No,
he's just taking it in.
Oh, no. Well, because I've heard it before also.
Randy adds
I
this.
should be excited at that time.
He said, it's sad Mariota in 2019 through the first 6 games had 1,208 passing yards, 7 TD, 2 INTs, with the 2 coming in the 6th game. Tannehill through the first 5 games of 23 has 1,058 passing yards, 2 TDs, and 5 INTs, and an overall QBR of 37.6. That's not good enough to win us games.
Are those numbers correct? Did you verify?
I have not. I'm reading them in real time.
A blue check?
Randy does not have a blue check, but he is posting a lot about this.
Verified his numbers. Because sometimes, people are on point, and sometimes, I don't.
The 2 and 5 sounds right because Tannehill did have an interception late yesterday.
Me and numbers, I don't, buy into the box score. Here's why I don't. This is why I don't gamble. That's why I don't bet on games. The Colts were horrible against the run. What did they do against the Titans? How many rushing yards they have? See, this is why sometimes box scores that lead you down the wrong road.
They've given up 350 rush yards combined in the previous 2 games.
Yeah. Yep. And the Titans got 89 yards total rushing. That's 3 people. Tannehill, Spears, and Henry. See?
Then the Colts ran for what they ran for without a left tackle. That's the backup left tackle out there. They did all that without Bernard Ryman.
Just unpredictable, man. If we're gonna keep going down this yo-yo ride, man, I don't know if we'll squeak into the playoffs, especially after looking at where we're at in the division now here early on. We're in last
place.
I know it's 1 game, but still 1 game back. But man, hey,
well, everything's
with 2 rookie quarterbacks. I feel like we're behind, like more than that.
Yeah, because next year the Titans are going to have to play whoever their second or third year guy is, who has basically no experience, unless some things really change by the end of the year and they start to play one of those guys.
Right. Well, you talking about next year? I'm still nervous now about this year because they're ahead of schedule.
Oh, both of those guys. The bad thing about Richardson is, though, he just keeps getting hurt. His kryptonite is he didn't get hit in the pocket hurt either. It was him running down the field.
Yeah, Landry fell on him. Nothing. He wasn't trying to hurt him, but he fell on. It was a good tackle, good solid tackle.
And then Minshew came in and just sliced him and diced him.
Oh, man.
They don't lay a hand on him. Yeah. He got hit once after a throw, but that was it. He got hit hard, but he had already completed the pass. Next hour of the show coming up. We'll keep you updated. If you've been trying to call, phones are down. 615-737-1045. Lots of comments in the F&M Bank chat. Again, you can tweet us at Blaine and Mickey. All right, a lot of people talk about Fulton and his future. What do you do if you do something besides Fulton? We'll get into that and more in hour number 2. And Jim Wyatt coming up in about 25 minutes.
Now that summer is over and fall has arrived, you don't have to necessarily get rid of your to-do list because you need to make up your to-do list. And the Cool Ray team is here to help. They'll waive the service fee if your visit requires a repair. Having a plumbing problem that popped up out of nowhere? Well, their plumbing team has you covered. Have an electrical issue you've been putting off? Well, the electrical team at Cool Ray can be there for you as well. And, of course, if you have an HVAC unit is starting to struggle and put along, they can repair that all while waiving the service fee. And you can still save up to $1,250 on brand new Tempstar home comfort systems. Plus, they boost the 10-year parts and labor warranty on new Tempstar home comfort systems. So schedule your next visit online at coolray.com. No phone call, no wait, no worries. You pick the date and time that works for you. That's coolray.com.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Hour number 2. It is a phone-free non-victory Monday. It's like a Starbucks order. Phone-free, non-victory. Non-fat latte, mocha choca latte, ya. But here's the thing. The phones have been down all day. We don't know what's going on. You know how to fix phones. Just come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. We were given different ways to join the discussion. You could follow us on Instagram or Twitter, send us a DM, or just tweet at us, at Blaine and Mickey. F&M Bank Chat is wide open right now. Lots of participation there today. Or we figured out that Division Street runs right behind the radio station. So if you pull up in front of the Electric Jane, which is a venue in the bottom of a residential bunch of really nice apartments, just pull up over there and hold up a sign or something, and we'll read it. Or just honk and yell. I don't know if we could hear you, but at least you could, try to. Thanks, Knock Chop, for getting the Threes Company reference.
Or Joseph's going to just tweet out his personal cell number.
That
way you can just call him.
We thought about just dropping our Zoom link out there, but then, if Buck was zooming in from, London next week while we're back here, us ding-dongs
on there.
back here.
Yeah, that is not going to work long term.
If we gave out the station's Zoom link, Joseph would probably get in a bunch of trouble, and we don't want to do that to him.
Oh, man, we got to get him problem solving early now.
You guys want me to read some of these tweets we've been getting?
Yes, read the tweets we've been getting.
All right, comment under the poll we sent out this morning.
Getting some good stuff.
What frustrated you more on Sunday for the Titans? Options were offense, defense, and all of it. Currently, out of 264 votes, all of it is leading the way at 48%.
Blaine was even more specific. He said defensive front, the back end of the defense, or red zone offense.
Yeah.
We need to put that out as well. We can put that out. We'll put that out later.
At _J_J_89 didn't score enough points, and we let them score too easily. Then over at TGrub27, Tyler Grube. 2 touchdown passes from Tannehill in 5 games is atrocious. Keith Merritt agrees with Mickey that the Hurricanes not kneeling was the ding-dong of the week. And then not Caleb Farley on Twitter says the defense with Dean Pease was excellent. The defense with Shane Bowen, bad. Defense with Schwartz, really good, usually. Defense with Shane Bowen, again, good sometimes. Offense with Arthur Smith, excellent. Offense without Arthur Smith, awful. Vrabel's hires hurt this team.
Oh.
I don't know how much Schwartzy had to do with the defense. I don't know. Maybe he did have something to do. Maybe third. He was third down coach or something.
They all had such different, varied roles.
I don't know what he was.
And Tim Kelly had a role on offense, and it is easy to say that.
And then finally, Craig Colquitt. Some Titans fans are living in the Dr. Pepper commercial. Differently, the season is over after 5 games. What?
The season's over?
Craig Colquitt? Like the punter?
I don't think he...
Craig Colquitt.
I think so, yeah.
What? What's the Twitter bio?
Nothing. Joined May 2023. But he's got a bunch of pictures of the Colquitt family on there.
Ooh. Oh, welcome aboard, Colquitt family, the first family of punting.
But you can get that all over.
So, I don't know if it's the real Craig Colquitt, but he thinks we're living in, or Titans fans are living in the Dr. Pepper commercial.
I'm just going to say this. There's 2 series of commercials that I love. I love the Dr. Pepper commercials. I love the Heisman House commercials.
Yes.
The other commercials that I loved, and I know people who just abhorred these, when Baker Mayfield lived at the football stadium. Oh,
what a great idea.
Gosh, those were the best. If they keep winning, I hope they just resurrect it down at the Tampa Stadium. Just let him live there and start up the commercials again. I mean, what are their first place in their division, right? Well, them and the Saints. The Saints are surprisingly winning games. Not surprisingly. Shannon Glover says in the F&M Bank Chat, again, that's how you can get in touch with us besides smoke signals, holding up signs, tweeting us, getting Joseph's cell number personally, or trying to hack into our Zoom. Those are your options. Shannon says, the fact that this team has been horrid all year on getting off the field on third down is infuriating. If I were any team playing the Titans in 2023, I would just pass all day because they can't handle it.
Oh, my.
I would just go into the game and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hike the ball to the quarterback, and in 2.27 seconds, he's going to have thrown it to somebody, and we're going to just wait for a coverage bust, the inevitable coverage bust. They had 5 X plays they gave up yesterday, Blaine. 5 X plays. 5. Some even on the ground. How long was the run by?
56 yards.
56 yards. He got through the line, and there was nothing between him and the goal line but the good Lord and green turf and rain from an open roof at an indoor stadium.
Catch him. The corners weren't in the picture because he ran up the middle, so Hooker and Byard just like, ooh.
Tackling yesterday was awful, too, especially from the linebackers.
Well, that was my key to watch as we went off the pregame show yesterday.
You thought it was going to be a key in a positive way.
Yeah, I just hoped it would.
Yeah,
it was not.
The linebacker play. This is the first time we didn't call them out, so we can give them a break, but that was not good. And a lot of it has to do with the D-line. They were, they getting to the second level of the offensive line of the Colts, and, man, they was locking on the guys. They couldn't get off blocks.
Mike Vrabel spoke today, and I was just sitting in the room in there, so I thought I'm going to just write down some things that he's talking about. He got asked about, why was the run game getting gashed yesterday? He said, didn't get people blocked and played peekaboo.
Oh, do you know what he means when he says that?
Where you're peeking around your guy?
Yeah.
Instead of just filling your gap?
Exactly, and that is very true. No doubt that happened.
Because if you're peekaboo, the guy with the ball
on a long run.
Yes.
I want to say it was the D tackle. I don't remember which one it was.
Was it Jaleel? Did he say, "Did I do that?" Like Jaleel White?
I don't know. It might. It wasn't like a name, like Jeff or Audrey. It was somehow, man. I can't remember who it was. Was it Miko? Maybe. What's the guy's name?
Cal Pecco.
Pecco. Yeah, Pecco. Maybe it was Pecco. You pick a booing, and then you got the gap. And you supposed to stay on the outside shoulder of the guard. And then the guy just gashed you. Then the linebackers are all getting blocked. Man, you got to stay in your gaps, man, being responsible. No different than Fulton or anybody else got to, when you're in man-to-man, your eyes. I say this at high school all the time because I coach cornerbacks. Man-to-man means, and you have to retrain them because all of this has happened because everybody's watching the freaking quarterback. If you are watching your man, how can you watch a quarterback? And that's why you don't have a lot of interceptions. We played a lot of man-to-man, and that's why we didn't have a lot of interceptions.
Sure.
But we also had a lot of fumbles, tip balls, because, pressure.
Vrabel brought that up today, too. Said they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Not tipping any balls, not hammering the ball out. And he said exactly what you said, Blaine. Got asked about Fulton. This is pro sports. Guys have a job to do. We're not trying to make interceptions in match coverage.
Which is man-to-man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He got asked about the guys behind Fulton. He said, I'm comfortable with the guys behind Fulton. And I put in quotes, that's why they're here.
Guys behind Fulton at cornerback.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you're supposed to believe in all your players. Actually, I say that all the time. I believe in the guys. I believe in my coaching. And then I say, I believe in the guys that I have here. And anybody can go out there and play and perform because everybody's supposed to be following the same key. Now, some have different talents or strengths to their game. So you lean to that and when you're actually out there playing to those strengths. So it's a lot of technical stuff he's got going on. But the main thing is when you break on the ball, you're always supposed to get your eyes to the receiver for the first 2 or 3 steps. You don't look at the quarterback because it actually slows you down. Mm-hmm. You look in man-to-man. You look at your guy, and then you look, and you're supposed to be having your hand and everything else come up because you're getting there supposedly at the time of the ball. And Fulton's messing up on those things. So it's just kind of weird. I don't know if he's pressing now because he's made some mistakes early in the season. So now he's trying to, he's pressing to make a play instead of just doing what's required of the defense, be fundamentally sound, and good things eventually happen for you. I think he's trying to force those issues, and you can't do that at corner.
Didn't Vrabel say post-game yesterday that he seemed like he was trying to make an interception, get an interception rather than just playing cornerback?
Essentially today he doubled down on it, yes. Yeah. And said that he warned him at halftime about the double move.
He said he warned him?
Said he coached. I said I coached him.
Right.
I coached him on the double move at halftime.
I mean, A.J. Brown did it to him last year and just ran him over. I mean, if that's the play, you might see wide receivers put that in their game plan.
What a crazy thing now. It's like, no, just run over the DB. They'll call him for something. Just run over him. Yeah, just run over him. You can get that call. What kind of world are we living in? So,
was it Pierce or Pittman?
I think it was Pierce.
Pierce was the guy who flattened him at the end. Right. So, I know we got Jim Wyatt come up in a couple of minutes. We got about a minute and a half. We can get into this a little bit, and then we can talk some more about it in the final segment of the show. But Now you get into, okay, if you really are going to sit him down, this isn't college football where you go, well, we got this guy that transferred in from New Mexico who was all conference there. Then we got a 6-year guy who was all American in junior college, because that never happens. I'm just kidding.
American.
Everyone's a JUCO all American. But then we got a 5-star guy who's just been sitting for a while. It's crazy when you start hearing college coaches talking about, okay, here's our options. And they get like 7 deep. In the NFL, your options are, there's like 2 other guys. It's Vildor and Anthony Kendall and Trey Avery. That's the other cornerbacks who don't currently play.
Well,
Trey Avery, Christian Fulton, Anthony Kendall, Roger McCreary, Sean Murphy, Bunning, Kendall, Vildor. Like, that's all of the corners. That's all of them.
Well, if I'm talking about winning, I'm not going to put a player out there that's never started an NFL game at quarterback. So that takes Kendall out the radar for me, personally. If I'm trying to win games.
Well, that would be Guerra, too, who's on the practice squad.
And, I like those guys.
And,
but I'm
my other guy that I like.
In this league.
Yeah, my other guy that I liked who's a slot guy from Washington State. Remember him?
Marsh.
Armani Money Marsh. Yeah, you don't want Money out there getting his first experience.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, I hadn't even seen him play on the outside, actually. So I don't think he's an option.
Well, I'm thinking if you put Money in the slot and you say, McCreary, come on down.
Got you. Yeah, they could consider that. I don't know about Marsh, but they could. They could move some pieces around. I'm not real big on moving pieces around. They better be really good. So, okay, so if you move McCreary outside, your first option there to go in the slot would be who? Don't
Elijah
say Marsh.
Molden?
I got to go with somebody with experience. Who else has experience? Molden?
Molden has experience in the slot, but then he's your number one other safety. So then,
guy.
Yeah. Do you break something else to try to fix it? Because we had this discussion about the offensive line.
Right.
Do you break one thing else, then you have to fix 2 things, or do you just say, we're just going to break off Fulton and break in somebody new there?
Now, that's why I said at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're still trying to be productive and grow and be better, I'm going with a proven player. Now, if it's at the end of the season, like 5 games left, you're out of the playoff hunt, now I'm going more for development of rookie players.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I say rookies are off the table for me at this point in time, or guys who haven't started in this league, which would mean to me Marsh, which would be most of the guys, besides Avery and Vildor. To me, those are the 2 options. And if you think they're better or think they'll be more fundamentally sound, even though they're probably not as talented, sometimes you can do that. But at that corner spot, man, that's a tough deal there, man. I don't know. I'm holding off for one more game. I really am. And see if he can recover. Then you got the bye week, but he probably would have a short leash. The way Vrabel's talking, and he's talking about it a lot vocally, means that he's kind of at that line now. So he may make a decision before that, but if it was me personally, I wouldn't.
Jim Wyatt may have some good answers for us for all these questions. Jimmy Wyatt from TennesseeTitans.com. He was at the game yesterday, of course, because he's at all of the games. We'll get into all of this and more and even look ahead to the London trip. Next, the man who has covered the Titans since they got here, Jim Wyatt. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Let's join our man Jim Wyatt at J Wyatt Sports via the magic of Zoom. The phones are still just a blank space, like the look on my face yesterday as the game ended in Indy. Jim Wyatt has published many, many stories about it, though, at TennesseeTitans.com, as he always does. He is a content-making machine. Jimbo, I'll start with this. First of all, it's great to have you back on the show. Secondly, do you ever remember covering a game where it rained inside of a place where they could close the roof and just chose not to?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think most of the time when I've been inside, I've stayed dry. As far as I can remember, I don't know why. He kind of likes to play that game and keep a little intrigue, and open it sometimes when it's 40 and close it sometimes when it's 75. But that's his prerogative. When you're a millionaire, or a billionaire, I should say, you can do whatever you want to.
Yeah, that's true.
You wrote, really enjoyed this article. I enjoy them all. I'm not going to lie. I read them all. You wrote last week things that you knew and things that you didn't know about the Tennessee Titans. We're another game down the road. I will ask you, what do you still not know about this team?
Well, it's funny, some of those questions, that I proposed. I mean, the Titans, we still know that the Titans have a good kicker. Unfortunately, know that too well because they're kicking the ball, kicking too many damn field goals. So that's one. That's one thing that I think we know about. I think we know one of the other things I said I knew is that they've got a good receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, and what a good get he was. Because he had his best day as a Titan yesterday, and seems to be someone you can count on when when you need a catch. Unfortunately, one of the things I said that I knew that the run defense is still solid. I was proven wrong because that's not the case necessarily. Because yesterday the run defense was terrible. I mean, it gave up almost 200 yards on the ground. Zach Moss ran through him like he was Marshall Falk, and I can't explain how that happened, because this team's identity's kind of been built on stopping the run and being a hard-nosed, tough, physical football team, and the Titans were the team that didn't hold up its end of the bargain yesterday. So I guess we're back to finding out whether this team can do it on a consistent basis. How good is this team? How will the offensive line shake out? Will the pass defense find consistency? How good is the AFC South? Some of these questions still remain. And, we're 5 games into the season. I think the biggest thing the Titans need to do is just settle down, play good football, be more consistent, and we'll have to see how things go from here.
Hanging out with our man Jim Wyatt at J Wyatt Sports, he said, on Twitter, and, of course, TennesseeTitans.com.
Well, Jimbo, you kind of touched on some of those, but I'm going to ask you which one, I guess, surprised you the most, and that would be the red zone offense, the run defense, in particular, the front 7, and then maybe Christian Fulton's untimely penalties.
Well, I think the run defense surprised me the most because, that's just not something that we've seen a lot of around here. I mean, 100-yard rushers, guys breaking free for big runs. Titans have done a good job of keeping guys from having career days against them, and that didn't happen yesterday. So that would be number one. Number two, I can't say was too surprised at Christian Fulton and his struggles, just because I think he has failed to find some consistency this year. So that didn't necessarily come out of nowhere. Now, did they lose because of Christian Fulton? No. I mean, that's been the most popular thing I've gotten on Twitter in the mailbag is, Christian Fulton didn't cost the Titans a game yesterday. Yeah, he had 2 bad PI calls and he gave up another play on the sideline, but he's not the guy who's responsible for some of those runs right up the gut. He's not the guy that was responsible for all those 3rd down conversions. He was responsible for some of them. He's not the guy who couldn't produce a first down on that 4th and 1 at the 5-yard line late. I mean, there were a lot of reasons why the Titans lost, but he certainly didn't hold up his end of the bargain. And I guess 3, the red zone offense. This team has been good in that area a lot of times. Certainly wasn't on Sunday. It wasn't because they were too predictable. I think they had 8 plays in the red zone yesterday. Maybe 5 of them were passes. 2 of them were Derrick Henry runs. One of them was the 19-yard run by Tyjae Spears, who comes on an end around. They tried a halfback pass from Derrick Henry to DeAndre Hopkins in there. They just couldn't have success. Whatever they tried didn't work other than that Spears play. And that's if I had to pick a reason why the team lost, it's because of their inability to score touchdowns when they got close to the goal line, and that came back to haunt them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're with Jimbo, Jim Wyatt with Titans Online. Great points there, Jim. A lot of fans are always curious, and even myself, and I know he was a huge part of the success of the offense in D-Hop. Why he hasn't, I guess, got targeted a lot in the red zone for touchdowns besides the one pass that Henry threw. But I'm talking about by Tannehill, or did I miss it that he's been targeted a lot in the red zone?
No, I think you're right. Yeah, and Mike Vrabel was asked that question today, and certainly it's a fair question because this is one guy who has proven throughout his career that if you throw him the ball, and especially in one-on-one situations, and man, he's going to come down with it. And since he's been here, when the Titans again have thrown it his way, he finds a way to adjust his body and make the catch and get his feet in bounds. And so that's who I'd want to have the football come, going his way when you get close to the end zone. And I think that, they'll continue to figure out ways to get him more involved. I mean, he's a threat, and doing that and targeting him more down there, maybe that's going to open up some other things too.
Well, the next two, questions really has to do with guys in the trenches, where as you know, all the games are won, and that is Teair Tart. Is he someone that is more valuable in the run defense than we thought? And then number 2, how did Skoronski look? Coming back from missing a couple weeks from having, I guess, a health issue. I'm gonna give it that term.
Yeah, I think that Skoronski, it's good to get him back. And Mike Vrabel said himself that he was still a little bit rusty, but when you're as technically sound and strong and durable as Peter Skoronski is, I think you just kind of find a way to work through some of that as you're finding your footing again. So that was good to see him back, and we'll see what else happens moving forward on the O-line. I know. But
did that help Dillard, him being back, or did you even see that process working out that way? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know I thought Dillard I just think he played better, whether or not that's Skoronski having something to do with it, whether it's Dillard settling down a little bit. I mean, I think Dillard probably deserves some credit for being better. But I think, certainly those two, when they have played side by side, they've worked in tandem well together. As far as Tart, I mean, I think if Tart's a good player, and certainly he has improved since he's been in the league. But I'm not going to sit here and say, the Titans, caved on defense just because he wasn't out there.
Right. I said the run defense. Is he more valuable than people thought? I mean, I'm not saying he's a killer, like he's more in sap, but I mean, it's like, well, wait a minute, everybody has a role, and he.
I'm sure, when his contract's up this offseason, and, Drew Rosenhaus probably going to send a copy of that tape to every team in the league and remind the Titans of that. But, but certainly guys in there getting paid too, and just have to be better.
Yeah, we're on with Jim Wyatt with Titans Online.
Vrabel actually admitted in the presser yesterday, and you were one of the people who were there asking the questions. I thought about sitting down Christian Fulton, and then he talked about, I talked to him, I coached him up at halftime about the double move, and then we all saw what happened with the double move late in the game, and then it came up again today, Jim, and I know you've already written your column about things that stood out for Mike Vrabel, but you got to ask about Fulton again today. He said it's pro sports. Guys have a job to do. You're not trying to make INTs and match coverage. And then he got asked about the guys behind Fulton. Are you comfortable with them? He said, well, yeah, why wouldn't I be? That's why they're here, because I'm comfortable with them. What kind of options do you even get into if you say, yep, it's time to move on? It's not like a college team where you got 12 other guys that play the same position.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was sitting next to Buck yesterday in Indianapolis, and the press conference was getting ready to start, and Buck was saying, kind of just bouncing off of me, you think it's out of bounds to ask him if he thought about, benching Fulton or sitting him down. And I said, yeah, I think it's fair to ask him that. I didn't expect him to give much of an answer. And so Buck asked that question, and then, Mike kind of conceded that, he considered doing that, which kind of surprised me because he doesn't do that often, but it kind of shows you where he is as far as his patience level and wanting to do things right. And then he did today say that he's confident with the guys behind him. Now, what is behind him? We know Sean Murphy-Bunting's playing at one of those cornerback spots. We've seen, Roger McCreary's playing a lot. So I guess the guys that would be considered options, Trey Avery, who has played, some good chunks in this defense, played a lot against the Chargers, and a guy like Kendall Vildor, who they got from the Bears, is where I think he came from. Mm-hmm. Maybe confusing him with Gibson about where his previous landing spot was.
No, they rented a car and just drove down here together.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, because they talked about being reunited here. So I think those are currently your options on the 53-man roster. And, I think the hope is that Kristen Fulton will settle down and be better. I mean, this guy had a great camp. I think he's got a lot of talent. Obviously, he's working through some things right now. He's frustrated in the locker room after the game about the way the game was called. Reality is he just needs to lock in and do his job. I mean, behind him, I'm looking at the practice squad. I mean, the guys I mentioned are the main ones that would be considered options behind them. And Fulton's has a lot of experience and certainly has the skill set to do it. Whether or not Mike and the coaching staff feel like change needs to be made, I guess we'll find out here in the coming days as when the practice week begins. But those are options, I guess, if you want to make a move. Best option is for Christian Fulton to get it together and start playing like he did in training camp.
It's interesting. There's two different travel strategies. I guess the Ravens have already left and gone to London, and Vrabel talked about today that the Titans won't leave until Thursday after practice. I'm always fascinated by how decisions like this get made.
Yeah, I know, because it's funny. I just talked to my buddy John Osher. I was talking to him before I got on with you guys. He worked for the Jags, worked for the Jacksonville Times Union for a long time. And he just got back, and they played it. I was really kind of getting a scouting report on the press box at Tottenham because I think he had a 75-degree day yesterday, and I'm looking at the long-range forecast, and it's supposed to be 53 or 54 is the high on Sunday, and he's telling me it's an open-air press box. It's partly covered. If it rains, you probably won't get wet, but there's a chance you might. So I was doing that kind of scouting report.
Yeah.
I know Mike Vrabel does a different kind and I was asking about how tough it is to get to the locker room and to get to the field. But Mike Vrabel obviously has a different job in what he's trying to do to get his team ready, and feels like, the teams do it differently. And, Jags, they've been over there so many times. I think he said he's been to London 9 times for games. This time they had back-to-back games over there, and they've been adjusted and acclimated. And Buffalo got there last week, kind of what the Titans did, and they were kind of all over the place a little bit yesterday. But now I know Mike talked to teams who have done it both ways and feels like their best strategy is to get the bulk of their work done here during the course of the week, which includes, meetings today, practice Wednesday, practice Thursday, get on a plane Thursday after practice, fly to London, get there probably around 6:30 in the morning, be on the practice field in London, I think around 1:30, 2 o'clock, have some media availability there. And then Saturday's kind of a walkthrough. Then you're playing a game Sunday and on a plane back over here. And that's a fast 48, 72 hours to cram it all in and play a game. Much different than what the Ravens will experience for being there 6 days. So which is better? I mean, I think, some teams have won doing it, making the long trip, staying the whole week. Some teams have lost doing it that way, and vice versa. Some teams have gone over there on Friday and lost. Some teams go over there on Thursday or Friday and won. So it's just, the reality is when you get over there and you show up on Sunday, you just have to be locked in and focused and play well. And the Titans played well enough to win over there trying the same strategy last week. They just didn't have a very good ending to that game, which would have changed the fate.
Hanging out with our guy Jim Wyatt, covering the Tennessee Titans at J Wyatt Sports.
Well, on the way out, Jimbo, what did you think about Richardson and Minshew, the quarterbacks, how they played and how they actually look? In particular, Richardson, even though he wasn't out there very long, but even Minshew played with a lot of confidence and looked poised as a starter in this league.
Yeah, I thought you guys hit me with it on the way out. What do you think about Clayton Kershaw on Friday night?
Oh, my
Saturday
gosh.
night. I'm glad
He's just as bad as the Titans, right?
Yeah. So at least you didn't hit me that way going out. But I didn't see Richardson long enough to have a great judgment on him. I think he's going to be a good player. I thought the throws he made. I thought he showed a good arm, and I think he's just going to keep getting better and better the more he plays. Minshew, I've seen him do that before. I mean, some teams you knock a starting quarterback out, and then you're in trouble and feel like you've got the game. I didn't feel like that when Minshew came in yesterday. I thought, okay, this is a guy who has played a lot in the league, is smart, savvy, can make throws. And he had a great day. I mean, give him credit. He made some tough throws. Titans didn't get any pressure on him. He sat back there and got very comfortable. And then they were able to run the football and get in shorter down and distance situations where they could keep the Titans guessing and on their heels. So I don't know whether to give him a lot of credit or just, again, kind of just acknowledge the Titans didn't play very well on defense and made it a lot easier on him than it should have been.
Jimbo, fantastic stuff. We'll be reading all the coverage this week. And then, of course, as you and the Titans head over for a quick business trip to London at Tottenham Hotspur, we hope the press box stays dry and the sun shines on you while you're there eating your fish and chips. Appreciate the time, buddy.
I appreciate it. Okay, you guys have a good week. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Follow him.
Hope you get those phones working. Hope they get back and running.
We appreciate you zooming in with us, Jimbo. Thank you for playing along, man.
Okay.
All right, the one and only Jim Wyatt. He got Zoom. He knows what time it is.
What is his picture?
All right. Finish up with this when we come back. I would say your calls, but you can't call because the phones are messed up. A couple of comments from Mike Vrabel. Jim Wyatt has gone through and kind of written some of this stuff down. What did Mike Vrabel say today about Christian Fulton after having some time to think about it? We'll get you those next. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. I thought I had everything figured out for Blaine. I was like, yeah, man, they're going to leave on Thursday. I just set everybody's clocks. I'd be eating lunch at midnight or whatever. I'd stay on Central Time. Blaine was like, yeah, but then you got to play at 8 in the morning on Sunday your time. So there's that.
Well, I mean, that could be a reason why, the Bills start off slow. Jaguars, they just played. Who was over there for 2 weeks, and they just looked like, man, they were world beaters in that game. It was, let alone a lot of people are saying there's issues with the turf. I didn't even ask Jimbo about that. Some people aren't liking this surface. I don't know what they're not liking, but people guys are getting injured or something. I don't know. It's kind of like that you kind of slide in, right? It's kind of a new innovative, for how they have for the Super Bowl. I think it's something similar to that.
Oh.
Where they have like trays where they slide it in there. I'm not sure, but a lot of people are talking about the surface. I just wanted to make sure it's the Ravens that are slipping.
Yes, 100%. Take 2 sets of cleats.
Who come off of a loss, too, as well, to the Steelers, right?
Yeah, and beat them up and down the field and lost. The Steelers had safety in the game and field goals in the game. And at one point they had 8 points, and it was just a weird game. But Steelers did what it took to win. Mike Vrabel on Christian Fulton earlier today on if eye discipline and situational issues with Christian Fulton are easily correctable. I don't know. We'll see. They better be correctable quickly. Would hope that we wouldn't be having these conversations about putting our eyes in the backfield and grabbing guys down the field when we're in phase. I think those are just things we have to be able to understand. You're in a phase. There's no reason to grab a guy.
Those are all true statements, unfortunately, for Christian Fulton. Yeah, Vrabel is completely correct on all of that, and especially being a veteran player. I would hope that we're not having these kind of conversations, and especially on a regular basis. Every other game, we're going through this whole process that you should know, like the backside of your, what at this position. So every referee, are different. He kind of blamed the referees there, Fulton, which he may actually get fined for that, though he did it so casually. It could be worthy of a, $10,000 fine. If they're fining you for your socks down $5,000, I think that was worthy of at least 10. But I completely agree with Vrabel on that, especially with a veteran player. It gets frustrating because the leash isn't very long. You go, dang, man, this has happened again, man. We're going through these same conversations. And some people, and I've talked about this before, when you have a contract year that, you take more risk because you're trying to get paid. And then some people play conservative, and not very motivated and just kind of just plays it like it's another season. I think that's what he needs to get back to.
He kind of alluded to what you just said.
Oh, did he? I did not hear his press today. I was on the conference call.
The next question, how he goes about managing a player who has ability but not producing the results. This is a long answer, but he kind of, in the middle of the question, he pivots here. And one game doesn't mean it's unfortunate, but then we have to keep moving on and we have to improve and figure out, is it that we're trying to make some plays? If you're in match coverage, really the whole goal is that we don't let our man catch the ball. Not that we're trying to make interceptions in match coverage, which is Blaine pointed out earlier, man. Not that we're trying to make interceptions in match coverage, because then you start looking for the football. You start looking in the backfield, and then they uncover or they make another move.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. The last sentence.
He's on point, man.
There's opportunities where we can try to get an interception, and in man coverage, that's not one of them.
Mm-hmm. It's not. He's completely right. There's no man-to-man means watch your man. That's the reason why it's called man, match, or whatever term you want to give it. Watch your guy. And guess what you're supposed to read? Eyes, hands, elbows. And you play through the hands, eyes, elbow. Because you're playing with your back to the ball. That's it. It's not that hard. But he keeps wanting to have the pickaboo. He got it. He got that pickaboo. You pickaboo when you're in the zone.
Right.
Everything's in front of you.
Yeah.
That's what the Colts do. They do bend, don't break, pickaboo defense. Eventually they kept on saying, oh, okay, D-Hop can take us. Then we're going to let you throw that last one, dead heel, and we're going to go get it. Because, he didn't do – I mean, he's the only guy that could have beat him. Of course, scored. They got smart, and Vince said, okay, we're going to play over the top, and we're going to go after the ball. So, yeah, dang. Yeah, Fulton's – I think this pity party. I think he's going to have a short leash, and it could happen. Right over here, if he does it again in this game, I wouldn't be stunned at all if he pulls him in a game. I wouldn't even be stunned if he didn't even start. The way he's talking. I mean, man, Those are all fundamentally sound things that you are not doing and you're a veteran player.
Right.
You can give some grace to a young player with that stuff, but in his mind, he go, well, dang, I might as well just play a young player then. To the point where I said I wouldn't do it if I'm going to make changes, but
sure.
If a young player is going to make those kind of mistakes. So this is unexpected, which really hurts coaches because it's a reflection on what they're teaching, and as a veteran player, so does he want to do it his way or my way? So I'm interested to see where the DB coach Harris is with Fulton, as well as having those conversations with Vrabel. Ultimately, Vrabel's the guy to make the decision, but, man, that's a tough one for me. Man, I'm going to give him one more shot. That's what I would do.
Whole game shot. And then
I have to be patient. I can't be picky. Now, if he makes just a horrendous bad call, I'm like, pull. And just to say this, I'm not a pull a guy out of a game type coach. That's not my style. If I trusted in this guy, I'm going to keep backing him until it gets to a limit where I have no choice. That's kind of where I'm at.
Kind of where we're at is at the end of the line, man. I'm about to hear the Eagles start playing. Yeah. We got to get pulled. They're putting in 3HL for us. They're going to play the last quarter of the game today.
Dang it! So in the meantime,
in between time,
peace.